Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined once again by Charlie Krull of the ARCA Menards series as we get to talk about once again about ARCA and ARCA Menards series racing at Toledo Speedway, the action track. How's it going?
I am super excited for it, Casey. It's always a big week when ARCA races at Toledo Speedway. The ARCA offices are about 10 minutes right up the road in suburban Toledo, Temperance, Michigan. So it's big. This is our home race. There's a lot of people that are going to come out. A lot of our friends and families all will be in the stands, and a lot of fans that have been following the ARCA Menard series for 60 plus years. So it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. Should be a great race. I look forward to seeing an entry list here, hopefully before the end of the day. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty good race at Toledo. I think it's always one of those racetracks that just puts on one of the better shows of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to be there as well. And
I you are? Wait. All right, I'm not going then. Never mind.
Well, you have to go.
I don't have to.
Well, it would be nice.
I don't have to.
No way Charlie misses an ARCA race.
No. Well, I mean, only the ones that I can't be in two places at once. But right. Yeah, I will be there. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Casey. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to seeing fans in the stands. And I'm just hoping they get a good weather day, and it looks like they will. And I hope they get a good show. That's really what I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
of course. So kind of going into, this ARCA season, we have seen, it's been the Ty Gibbs, of course. He's led every single lap the last two races. Has that ever happened before? So
I'm sure it has. But it's, our records don't quite go back that far. As far as lap leaders and whatnot, but just to be clear, he's led the last all of the laps of the last two races that he's been in on the ARCA Menard Series platform. But one of those was an ARCA Menard Series race, and the other was an ARCA Menard Series East race. So there is a slight differentiation there, but the fact of the matter is he's been extremely dominant the last two times out, and he was awfully good at Toledo Speedway last year. Of course, he won the East Series race at Toledo last year. He was competitive in all three of the ARCA Menard Series races at Toledo last season. Of course, Sam Mayer was the man to beat in all three of those. Sam's not going to be there this year. So it's going to be everyone's going to be chasing that 18 car at Toledo Speedway. That's for sure.
Yeah, Sam Mayer will be in COTA for the truck race. So for Brett Holmes. So that's going to be where he's at. So Ty Gibbs may be in the field. We have some names that a lot of people making their first or not many times to Toledo Speedway. We got Corey Heim, who's going to only, I think, his second time to the racetrack. We got Jesse Love, who's going to be there as well. And I can't be remiss to forget this is the first race of the Sioux Chief Showdown, a championship within a championship. So before we get into, drivers in the field, kind of explain what the Sioux Chief Showdown is for people that may be new to ARCA.
It seems like it's very complicated, but it's not. So ARCA allows drivers as young as 15 years of age to compete, but they can't compete everywhere, because the big tracks have age restrictions. Most of them it's 18, but a place like Pocono or, when we race at Gateway, WWT Raceway, Kentucky, it's 17. But for most of the racetracks, the big tracks, it's 18 years of age. So someone like Jesse Love isn't eligible to compete for a championship overall, but we still want to give them an opportunity to come and compete for a championship. So on the short tracks where 15-year-old drivers can compete, and on road courses, we group them all together. We've got 10 races that we put together in that mini championship and let them slug it out for a championship. And the very cool thing is we've opened that up to drivers and teams from the East Series, from the West Series. And we saw a lot of participation from some of those teams last year as well. So it's a very cool thing that we do here. And I think we're going to see some of those drivers like we saw last year with Sam Mayer. Sam did not run for the overall ARCA Menard Series championship, but he won the Sioux Chief Showdown. So I think someone like Jesse Love is going to be a pretty tough competitor in these showdown races, especially that he's now that he's kind of aligned with Venerini Motorsports. I think he's going to be very strong.
There's another name that's going to be in there, of course. Adam Lemke is back, a name that you people may not know. The Rhett Jones team, of course, that's the team that won at New Smyrna with Max Gutierrez. Adam's going to be running the full 10 races for the Rhett Jones team. Good to see the 30 car out there.
Yeah, of course. Mark Rhett, the 2009 crew chief for champion. Well, let me restart that sentence. The champion back in 2009 was Justin Lofton. Mark Rhett was his crew chief that season. So Mark's had a lot of success. And of course, a lot of people may not know the name Terry Jones, but race fans here in the Toledo area do, because Terry was a longtime regular in the late model sportsman division at Toledo Speedway. So a couple of really good guys behind the scenes on that team. And yeah, it's definitely going to be good to have that 30 car out there each and every week in those showdown races.
Okay, so for some Toledo fans, we mentioned some of the names that are going to be in there. Kind of go through some of the names that fans may see if they come to this race and don't follow ARCA.
Well, I mean, you'll see somebody like Nick Sanchez. Nick's an up and coming very talented young man that we see each and every week here in the ARCA Menards series. Of course, Gracie Trotter will be on the entry list. Tony Breidinger, two very talented female drivers that have gotten a lot of coverage this year. Gracie, of course, won last year at Colorado National Speedway in the West Series, becoming just the second driver, a female driver, to win a West Series race, and the first to do it with the ARCA sanction. Yeah, and Tony has been everywhere this year. Wherever you turn the TV on, and you see Tony Breidinger, and that's fantastic. She's been a great ambassador for what we do. The first Arab American female driver in the ARCA Menards series, and she's had a pretty solid start to the season, keeping that car out of trouble most of the time. I mean, that deal at Phoenix wasn't really her fault. She just was wrong place, wrong time, but she had a really good start to the season, and we saw her up here last week testing her open wheel car. So we're definitely glad to have her back running the ARCA Menards series here this week.
Thad Moffitt will be there as well in the 46.
Thad Moffitt, yeah. Thad's one of my all-time favorites. He's got just the greatest attitude. He's smiling, happy to be at the racetrack each and every time he gets to come out and play with us. And, he's really developed into a very solid race car driver. A lot of people don't realize he didn't have a whole lot of racing experience when he started with us. And he hasn't had the funding to come out and compete in a full season just yet. So he's kind of developed right in front of our eyes. He didn't come with, 18 years of go-kart experience. This is kind of where he's done all of his learning, and he's done a really nice job. Of course, he's a fourth generation member of the Petty family, Richard Petty's grandson, Lee Petty's great grandson. So it's good to have him. Good to have him here. He's, like I said, he's a cool dude, and he's really done a very nice job so far here in 2021.
So we'll see what comes out in the entry list. I don't want to mention any other names because I'm not sure if they'll be on the entry list.
Right? We can't talk about it until it comes out, Casey.
Yeah, we could see Kyle Sieg. Who knows what GMS will do.
Yeah, I don't know what GMS has planned at this point, but I think we will see Kyle Sieg. They've kind of let it known their intention is to come out and try to compete for the championship. I was actually happy to see them at Dover last week. Of course, Kyle had some tough luck about 2/3 of the way through that one. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kyle Sieg here at Toledo Speedway.
Yeah. So we got some big names. Speaking of people we haven't seen in a while, we're going to see our friends from MAV TV as well. Of course, we got of course, Bob Dillner, Jim Trado, Dave Reef, our friends at MAV TV who we haven't seen, and they've been a great partner to you guys
really
as well.
Yeah.
And of course, really all the races are available on Track Pass as well.
Yep, live on Track Pass, live on MAV TV. Of course, MAV's got their own streaming platform as well that you'll be able to watch those on. So, a lot of people will be frustrated that not every race is easily available over but I will tell that's just what they say, but I will tell them, yeah, Track Pass is very easily available. It's $3 a month. It's like $20 a year. It's got a ton of content on there for $3 a month. I mean, that's a cup of coffee. It really is. a very good deal. You get all of the Mav races, you get all the East and West races, you get all of the modified tour races,
Mhm.
and you get, weekly tracks like Langley and Berlin, and there's a lot of really good racing on there. A lot of really good racing. So for $3 a month, what more can you ask for?
The Inza WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is also available on there as well.
And I think that's part of a different package, but if you buy that package, it's like $30 a year.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not much at all. It
Yeah,
really
of
isn't.
course.
Like I said, lots of great racing, and you can go back and watch the replays. You don't have to, if you can't watch it live, you don't worry about it. You can catch it on the replay, and it is a really cool deal. I was really fortunate to go and be a part of that 9-day extravaganza down at New Smyrna Speedway to start the year.
Yeah.
With the World Series, and I think Track Pass is just one of the coolest things that's out there right now, because you do get a lot of really great racing.
Okay, so if fans want to go to, I forgot to mention this, the Hers Chips 200, and by the way, you can get Hers Chips at your local Menards. So what if fans are coming to the race? I know there are things that people will have to follow. Kind of talk about that if fans want to. Fans are going to the Hers Chips 200.
Well, obviously we are coming out of a global pandemic, and we still want to be cautious. We are starting to see some loosening of regulations, and I think in the state of Ohio, the mask mandate is, if it hasn't already expired, it will be expiring very soon. Common sense still reigns today, Casey. I don't think anybody would be really comfortable with anybody breathing, in someone else's space at this point. So we would ask, just be respectful of those around you, and, just be careful. Social distancing is still a very good thing. I'm fully vaccinated, but I still like to carry that mask with me just in case. I think it's a good idea to maybe carry one with you, regardless of whether or not you have to have it on. Sometimes having it on is not a bad idea. But just go to ToledoSpeedway.com for the latest, protocols and regulations on that, leading right up to race day. And I would encourage anybody, if they are planning on coming out to the race, and you don't already have your tickets, go to your local Menards store here in the Toledo area and save big money on those tickets. I believe it's $30 at the gate, and it'll be $20 at Menards. So go and pick up those tickets up until Friday night at 9 p.m.
Less than a tank of gas.
Right.
So I know that ARCA won't be the only series that'll be racing there Saturday.
Yeah, we've got a couple of local divisions on hand as well. It'll be a 20-lap factory stock feature on our little infield quarter mile, and then we'll have a 25-lap late model sportsman feature on the half mile. So you'll get some additional racing as well. But we are really putting that spotlight on that Hearst Potato Chips 200 for the ARCA Menard Series at 8 o'clock.
It's going to be a good show for sure.
Always is, man.
All right. Don't forget to purchase your tickets at your local Toledo area Menards, and we'll see you out there for the Hers Chips 200. You can catch that, of course, on Mav TV and Track Pass if you can't be there. Always a good show to put on there. But Charlie, thank you so much for coming on and talking about the ARCA Menard series, and we will see you out there in Toledo on Saturday.
You got it, pal. Thanks for having me.